Alright, what's up guys? I'm going to teach you a little bit more XML today, just some basic stuff, and how to use some of the resources. And if you don't understand all this, that's fine. You'll get it eventually. Yeah, text is cool. You know, we got this. It's not that awesome though. I want some buttons. So, how do you add a button? This is how you add text. Let's see how you'd add a button. Have any ideas? It's pretty easy. To add a button, you just type button. But let's say we didn't know that. These are some of the things that you can add in XML. So we just want a regular button. So we're going to put a button in. And we're already getting in a squiggly line. So basically that means there's an error and it won't run properly. And in XML you always have to include the ending part to complete your object, in this case a button. So we're just going to hit enter a couple times, and we're going to hit the end button and get rid of that problem. And basically we're going to copy and paste this because we want the button to take up the whole width that's available. So we're just going to copy and paste this down here. Again, it fills the width to the full, and it just wraps the content of the button. And let's see what we have. Just going to save it, go to graphical layout. There's our button. Pretty cool, huh? But we want some text. Just copy again because I'm lazy. Text. We'll just call this the tutorial button, or just tutorial. That's fun. So we're going to save that. We're going to give it a look. Alright, that's pretty cool, but no, that tutorial is pretty small. We're going to try and get it to be bold. So again, we're just going to put the Android. And here's some of the things that you can use. You're going to type in text. And you can kind of look at the other things that you can do. Yeah, we're going to use text size. That's pretty obvious, the size of the text. But we're going to go down to style. We're going to make it bold. If you hit enter, you already have 3 choices that pop up. So really you don't have to remember too much when you're programming in XML and on Eclipse, because it kind of has it for you, which is pretty nice. We're going to hit bold. And then we're also going to change the size of the text. So if you remember, text size. And basically how you define the text size is by pixels. So we're going to do like 25 pixels, which is px. So we're going to save that and look at it. That's pretty nice. But basically the problem with this is when you define something by pixels, you don't know what the screen size is of the phone that you're running it on. Because 25 pixels on a screen that's only 50 pixels, which is a really small screen, so that probably won't happen, but that would take up half of the whole screen. Obviously there's no screen that small, but basically what you can do is you can change this to make it a ratio, and to do that is dp. So that's kind of a ratio, so it's kind of the same on each phone, same size, according to the screen size. So you can do that, and then there we go. There's a button. Pretty easy. Okay, let's say we don't want this stuff all off to the side, to the left like this. Let's say we want this off to the center. And this is one of those codes that might not be common sense. And basically what we want to change to get it in the center is called gravity. So just remember that when you're trying to change the layout of the text or a button, whatever you want. We're going to save that, and hopefully it'll work. See, we have that one in the center, which is pretty nice. Alright, these are just some of the common factors of XML. Pretty easy stuff. You can figure it out by, again, just seeing what they have available by this. Or you can type Android, and then you can see what functions it has. But basically what's going on is you have a linear layout. Like I said, it's a column. orientation, we can change this to horizontal or vertical. If it's horizontal, that'll create a row. So we'd have a little bit different layout. You can't see it because it's off the screen, because remember we set this as taking up this whole width. If you wanted to do a horizontal one, you'd have to do something like wrap content here. See, then you can display the next one, and the next one's over here, the next one's over here. So here's just some of the common factors. Obviously we want to have the vertical, or we have a vertical orientation, so we can see all of what we have done on the screen. And you can change this to a few different things, such as relative layout, table layout, or a scroll view. I believe the last one is. And the scroll view is probably what we're going to be using when there's items off the screen like that. You know, I'll get into that later. It's not too important for right now. Basically, what I want to show you is how we can reference this image that we imported earlier. You want to do that in your linear layout, because even though you don't see the linear layout on the screen, when I click here, it shows that this is the linear layout in the XML. Yeah, it takes up the whole screen because we filled the parent for the width and for the height. So basically, this class defines the whole screen, and within the screen we have the buttons, the text, all this stuff. But see, the linear layout ends here, so it's all within that area. So it's kind of basic. It's an easy concept to get. If you don't find it easy, that's fine. After you use it a couple times, you'll find it pretty easy. But basically, I want to change the background of the linear layout, which is the full screen, to that image that we imported. So I'm just going to wing it. Let's see. What do we got here? Is there something called background? Let's try that. Yeah, background's right there. And again, if we don't know how to reference it, I don't know if they'll pull this up. Yeah, we're going to go through the drawable, and the drawable will pick up all three of these files. And basically, I did look this up. Basically, this is the high density, medium density, and low density. So if you want, you can change, or you can add this same file to all three and have a lower quality image for phones that don't have high density screen resolution, and it automatically pick the one that fits the phone best. But I'm just going to go drawable, and we obviously have it named this. So we're going to go drawable, and again, it references it by the @ symbol. But we're going to go corn boys background .jpg, and then save it. Hopefully this will work. Okay, we aren't getting anything to show that it's referencing that image right now, but basically this should be working. So we're gonna run this application on the emulator that you should have already had loaded from a couple tutorials ago. Now it's actually fully functional, and when you load it, it won't take as long. So we're gonna go back to our tutorial, run as Android application, and then we just pull. See, and I'm getting an error message right here. There's no drawable corn boys background JPEG. I think, I'm not for sure, but I'm not for sure if you have to include the JPEG. Yeah, you don't have to include the .jpg. It'll automatically find it, and I think that's what the problem was. So now when we run this, it should automatically come up. It should automatically run our application onto the emulator. And down here in the progress it says starting activity, and here we go. It actually shows our background that we created. Shows this. We might want to change the text. I'm going to let you figure that out, how to do that. Again, it's pretty easy. And this is a button, and it's clickable, but basically it doesn't do anything right now. We're going to have to define what it does in the actual JavaScript. Right now this is all XML.